The Russia-Ukraine war continues to intensify meanwhile, with major strikes reported on both sides. A large oil terminal in Crimea caught fire after an overnight drone attack, while Russian airstrikes hit Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv. Both countries targeting critical energy infrastructure as winter approaches, signaling a rather dangerous phase in this war, which is now entering its fourth year. With flames and smoke rising over the oil terminal in Crimea after a series of explosions, satellite images from NASA's fire tracking system confirmed intense heat signatures across the site. A Ukrainian intelligence source told Reuters that drones operated by Ukraine's security service and military special forces struck at least 5 oil reservoirs. The same source said additional drones hit 2 electrical substations elsewhere on the peninsula. And Crimea's governor confirmed the fire but did not specify the damage. Feodosia has faced repeated attacks in recent weeks. Since August, in fact, Ukraine has carried out more than 30 drone and missile strikes on Russian energy facilities, part of what the officials in Kiev call a campaign to disrupt Moscow's fuel supply lines before winter. And in response, Russian forces launched fresh strikes on Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv. Guided bombs damaged a hospital, severed power lines, and left around 30,000 homes and businesses without electricity. And the local mayor has said the explosions shattered windows and injured at least 4 people, mostly from flying glass. Some patients were moved to other wards as emergency teams worked to restore the services. Firefighters in the northeastern Ukrainian city of Sumy, meanwhile, could also be seen extinguishing a fire sparked by a Russian strike on a non-residential building in the early hours of the morning. Energy and power infrastructure have increasingly become central targets in recent weeks, both sides trying to weaken the other's ability to sustain the war effort through the colder months. Last week, missile and drone attacks across Ukraine cut power to over 1 million customers and disrupted water supplies in several parts, including Kiev. On the ground, Russian forces continue to advance. Russia's defense ministry announcing that its troops had taken control of a village in the Donetsk region. A day earlier, the Russian defense ministry also said that its forces had captured another village near Kupiansk in northeastern Ukraine and another in Donetsk region, consolidating positions along the front line. On the diplomatic front, meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump said he hopes to help end the war, adding that peace would have been possible under his administration. Listen to this.
Had the election of 2020 not been rigged, you would have millions of people living just in Russia, Ukraine alone. That would have never happened. And it didn't happen for 4 years. And I knew Putin very well. It was the apple of his eye. All the things I've said would have never happened. We had an incompetent administration.
In fact, Trump also reiterated that the Turkish president could play a pivotal role in ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. The Kremlin responded by welcoming Trump's interest in pursuing peace following the ceasefire in Gaza. The Ukrainian president has announced plans to visit the United States this week. He said he will be discussing new military aid packages, including potential long-range missile systems like the Tomahawks. Zelensky added that he expects to meet Trump later in the week and will also hold talks with the U.S. defense and energy companies and members of the Congress. As winter nears, both Moscow and Kiev appear determined to gain advantage, be it on the battlefield, in the skies, or at the negotiating table. High in Tajikistan's mountains, a team of international scientists drilling deep into ancient glaciers to unlock centuries of climate secrets. At an altitude of 5,800 meters, researchers have extracted ice cores from more than 100 meters below the surface, containing vital clues about the Earth's changing climate. Take a look. The Nobel Peace Prize, the celebrated honor for peace, has often sparked debate and discussions. This year's honor went to the Venezuelan opposition leader, Maria Machado, for her non-violent fight against dictatorship. Machado's recognition coming decades after the man who defined non-violence itself, Mahatma Gandhi, was repeatedly denied the same honor. The architect of peaceful resistance, who reshaped the 20th century's idea of moral courage, never found a place among Nobel laureates. He was nominated 5 times. And this was in the years 1937, 1938, 1939, 1947, and finally in early 1948, just days before his assassination. Yet the prize never came. In 1947, in fact, Gandhi was on the shortlist, but 3 out of 5 committee members reportedly refused to support him, citing the political turmoil of India's partition. The award that year went instead to 2 Quaker organizations, the American Friends Service Committee and the British Friends Service Council, for their humanitarian work after the World Wars. When Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated in January 1948, 6 nominations had already been sent. Still, the Nobel Committee refused to make a posthumous award. That year, there was no award as the Norwegian Nobel Committee felt there was no suitable living candidate. That silence still echoes as one of the Nobel Committee's greatest omissions in a way. For decades, especially until the 1960s, the Nobel Peace Prize favored Europeans and Americans, it seems, leaving global icons like Mahatma Gandhi unrecognized, many would say. And history did not grow wiser. In 1991, Aung San Suu Kyi was awarded for her peaceful resistance. Later, she was criticized for her inaction during Myanmar's Rohingya crisis. In 2009, Barack Obama received the prize just months into office, an award he himself questioned. So when the Nobel Committee crowns these champions of peace, one cannot help but wonder if Gandhi's life of sacrifice, truth, non-violence was not peaceful enough according to them, then what truly defines peace for the Nobel Prize?